The following video was brought to you by Mouse Pounder. Mouse Pounder suggests the YouTube channel narrated. Narrated actually has a fantastic video, again covering Deep Space Nine, and how the two-part episode Past Tense is a disturbing look at our possible future. I highly recommend checking it out. It is also brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. Not long ago, you saw a bunch of YouTube creators do a huge crossover and release a series called One X-Cellent Scene. Strangely enough, my invite must have been lost in the mail because I am certain people like Nando V Movies, Patrick H. Willems, Cinema Wins, Brown Table, and High Top Films are all avid subscribers of mine and wait anxiously for my next video. I mean, I have almost 30,000 subscribers, for crying out loud. I am the 500,000th biggest YouTuber on the planet. How could they ignore me? It's not like on the One Marvelous Scene video I spent too much time on a joke that didn't really fit the scene.
Like they say, Dal, love's strange. We could always give it a try.
No, these guys are definitely subscribed to my channel and follow me diligently, so clearly my invite was lost. After all, my comments are getting overloaded with request to do this one. And speaking of other things that are definitely true, the X-Men films have a record of religiously following the comic books to a T. The X-Men in black leather? Check.
You actually go outside in these things? What would you prefer? Yellow spandex?
An over 6 foot tall Wolverine? Check. The original X-Men being Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Storm? Check. Cyclops being the most ignored X-Men in the franchise? Check. Dark Phoenix being a version of Jean that the Professor suppressed with telepathy? Check. Silver Samurai being an old guy in a mech suit trying to steal Wolverine's powers? Check. Magneto quickly embracing the person who murdered his best friend? Check. Wolverine going back in time to prevent the mutant apocalypse? Check. These movies are so accurate, just like how I'm the biggest YouTuber and how the people who I listed actually know I exist at all.
Right.
So maybe not that's true. But there is actually one scene in the X-Men movies that is extremely accurate to the X-Men comic books, and that's why it's going to get highlighted as an excellent scene. Alright, it's not perfectly accurate. The scene is done more cinematically, but this scene is spiritually the same as from the comic book, and this moment is the closest Hugh Jackman gets to playing comic book Wolverine. It's an early scene from the Wolverine, and the very beginning of Wolverine #1, written by Chris Claremont and drawn by Frank Miller. Wolverine is seen in the woods tracking something with the intent to kill it. Whatever it is left two Mounties alive to tell Wolverine the tale. He finds the cave of his target and is attacked by a grizzly bear. He makes short work of the bear only to discover an arrow lodged in the beast. It turns out the arrow was poisoned and sent the bear into a mad rage where it killed 7 men, 3 women, and 5 kids. We see Wolverine again on the trail of a killer. Only now he goes to Josie's Bar and Grill, where he finds the hunter that shot the bear. The hunter is quick to hit Wolverine with a beer glass. We are then told that the bear lasted longer, but Wolverine let the man live. In the movie, we see Wolverine in the woods. He hears distant screaming. Next, we see him at a destroyed campsite. He tracks the bear from the campsite to where it is now laying, impaled by an arrow. Wolverine then kills the bear.
Don't make me do this.
He removes the arrow and tracks it to a nearby bar. There, he finds a man bragging about defeating a massive grizzly bear.
Must have been damn near 12 feet tall. We didn't hear nothing, except twigs.
Wolverine stabs the man with the same arrow that was in the bear and introduces himself.
It's Logan. And that's a poison broadhead, which last I heard was illegal.
He explains how the poison of the arrow made the bear crazy and killed 5 people. The hunter declares that he doesn't dip his arrows in anything, to which Wolverine replies,
I don't know what you're talking about, because I don't dip my arrows in anything.
In that case, you got nothing to worry about.
The hunter then throws a beer glass at Wolverine's face when Yukio interrupts Wolverine from doing more. This scene tells us exactly who the protagonist is. It is an introduction to Wolverine not just for the hunter, but for the audience as well. Wolverine is a hunter, but he does not limit his game to wild, out-of-control bears, but also to out-of-control humans. The scenes are spiritually identical, both serving the exact same purpose of telling the audience who Wolverine is with an almost identical story. The scene is clearly not an exact one-to-one translation of the comic book, but is fairly close. James Mangold took elements from the Claremont book and honestly made it better. Clearly seeing what Wolverine does to a hunter is a huge upgrade to the source. We see how similar Wolverine is to an animal himself, yet something not quite animal and perhaps not quite human either. Claremont is a man responsible largely for the X-Men most of the world recognizes. Sure, Stan Lee created the mutant team, but if you were to name a classic X-Men storyline from comic books, you'd probably be naming something by Claremont. Days of Future Past is Claremont. God Loves, Man Kills, which is the basis for X2, is Claremont. Inferno is Claremont. Phoenix and Dark Phoenix sagas are Claremont. He's a brilliant writer, but also a flawed writer. He writes as though he doesn't trust the artist, always over-explaining every detail like he's writing a book. This scene is an example of Mangold taking what Claremont wrote and improving on it greatly. It's a shame the rest of the movie wasn't as great an adaptation as this one scene was. The Wolverine, as a movie, is sadly rather forgettable, but this scene is a fantastic reintroduction to the Wolverine, just like the beginning of the comic book was, and when a movie franchise largely takes a dump on the vast majority of source material, it's important to recognize when the same franchise does something very right and not only respects the source material, but improves upon it. As we see, the Fox X-Men were incredibly accurate to the source material, just like how I'm a giant YouTuber after 6.5 years with a huge fan following, including other huge YouTubers. Either that, or Fox wasn't very accurate at all, and I'm at best a mid-level YouTuber who kind of sucks at the whole movie essay thing, but keeps doing it because I live for struggle.
Wait! No! You wanted the truth! I told you the truth!
I didn't like it.
How did you know there's a pool down there?
I didn't.
They think order and chaos are somehow opposites and try to control what won't be.
Pain don't hurt.